Good morning and welcome to the final post-mortem for this season. As you're well aware, it hasn't been the best of years. It's been very disappointing from our side. Obviously, we put a lot of work and effort into this, and as I said previously, nobody probably feels it more than myself and obviously the team on the ground here that puts in a lot of hours. I don't think we're going to have another year like this. I just can't see how we can have that much bad luck in one season. It just continued all year. No excuses. It's just what happens. For those that have been with us for several years, thanks for being with us. For the guys that joined us this year for the first time, sorry you've come in on a bad season. I hope you stick with us. You won't be disappointed in the long run. Tonight was the same as, well, basically what's happened all year. We got away to a flying start. Found a nice 20-1 chance in the first leg and married it up in the Quinellas. Got away to a good start in the parlays with 3 legs up and rolled all up into a decent result, possibly going into 7 and 9, and it sort of fell away from there. It's a difficult scenario that we found ourselves in. It's one of those things, I suppose. We do strive to look for opportunities where we can win. We have been checking a few things over the last 12 or 15 months, virtually season and a half. We are looking at implementing a couple of things into the new season. You got a bit of a taste of it in the parlay betting. We think this is the way of the future for us. It's not something that we've done in the past a great deal, but certainly our figures and our stats indicate that this is a very lucrative approach that we can implement for the new season. Looking at tonight, it was very disappointing, especially, as I say, we found Young Supreme in the first at a big price. Would have been a different story. We've got run down late with the 12, chopping out a big price one, which would have probably squared up the night. From there, we went into race 2. Kingston Elite run a place for us, so that was okay. It kept up the opening starter for a parlay. We went into race 3. Jade Christie did the job for us, winning, so that sort of kept things alive there. We went into race 4. We got the banker home in the first leg of the TT jackpot. We got a nice result with the place getters, sort of 12 and 16 to 1, beating out all the fancied runners. So we were in a pretty decent position. Then the rain come pouring down. You couldn't see 25 feet in front of you for the next race. Our horse got buried down on the rails. Got a bit of a check mid-race and sort of lost ground, didn't handle the slippery conditions at all. So that put it out of running. And then to make things even worse, we had one flashing home late to just miss third. That would have got us alive to the last leg where we double banked 2 and 7. Naturally, they'd run the Quinella after that. But we were still alive going into a parlay with a decent bet. I think we parlayed, I don't know, up probably close to 200,000 for a place going into race 7. One of them's missed the kick and was never really in the race after that. He finished up going out very, very wide, Imperial Rome. The other one was up getting its ears scrubbed up on the rails, got beaten about a length out of the money. Race 8, we didn't get involved in at all. Douglas White rode a fantastic race on the short price favourite and ripped its head off to get it beat. I think it choked down mid-race or something. Anyway, he did a nice job on it to make sure it couldn't win. So he finished the season on a nice high note. And in the last race, anticipated that they'd go back with Royal Partner. So Burton decides to ride like a complete nutter goose and goes up 3 wide attacking for the lead and then goes to the front at the top of the straight and gets run down, gets beaten 5 lengths, but it's only finished 2 lengths outside the placings after easing it right down. The other ones virtually got left in the barriers amazingly. It was last coming around the corner. They finished alongside each other. So it was a decent enough run. The favourite bolted in the last, was never going to lose once the speed went on and they set it up for it. Not much else can be said, guys. It's been disappointing. It's been disappointing for all the members. I suppose more disappointing for the guys, as I said, that joined in for the first time this year. The guys that have been with us for 4, 5, 6 or 7 years, they've had a fantastic run. So there's no complaints from there. I suppose there'll be a few of the new guys that probably feel a little bit aggrieved joining in. All I can do is apologise, guys, and say, look, I'm sorry. It's just the way the game bundled for us. I have put up the end of year report with the value of shares, etc. I'll get an email out to each one of you individually in the next day or two at the most. And we'll sort out a few things with you on a one-to-one basis there. The new season commences 9th of September. There will be 2 big jackpots to start off the opening 2 nights. Nothing went off tonight and nothing went off the other night in the TT, so that'll go forward. There's really not a lot more I can say other than thanks for joining in. The guys that sent me emails over the last couple of days, they are most appreciated. And thank you for your kind words of encouragement. I'm sure that some of the boys have had a fairly decent run on the side punting, and hopefully we can find you some more winners for next season. Those that joined in this year, stick with us. You won't be disappointed in the long term, and I'm sure next year we're going to have a pretty decent season. I did indicate in the end of season report, did have a couple of guys sort of query, what difference does one collect make? I think you'll see what difference one collect makes when you read the end of year report and see the 2 scenarios or 3 scenarios that are posted where we take the one of the photo finishes in the opening day, and then what happens if we get both photo finishes? It is an enormous turnaround, and obviously that is at the bottom end of the scale when you look at that, because there's no way on earth we would have been betting at the low level that we've been betting all season. We were forced to bet at this low level, betting 1, 2, 300,000. Last season we were betting 3, 4, 5 times that. So it all compounds. Once we hit the front, we certainly are not frightened to have a go. And let us put us in that position next season. Let us hit the front early, and we will give them something to think about up here. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being with us for the season. I'll be around for the next 5 or 6 weeks. I'm coming back to Oz. We'll be at home. Anybody wants to get in touch with me. Now, I am going to come to Sydney, Melbourne, and probably the Gold Coast in early August. I'll get an email out to everyone. I'd love to catch up with any of the guys that are floating around and want to catch up with some lunch and the chat. We might even organise a couple of dinners at each of the venues so we can catch up. I will keep you posted probably the first 10 days of August, and then I'll be heading back up. Track work and trials start about the 15th or 18th of August for the opening day, so I'll be up here for that. Thank you, and stay tuned. Obviously, the from the book segments and that will continue on. We're coming up to the Spring Carnival. We'll be starting very shortly, so stay tuned. I'll be having a go at naturally we'll be poking our nose in all the big races coming up in the spring in Oz. So keep an eye out for that, because we have been known to have a decent lash there and catch it like we did with Green Moon last year. So there will be a few there for us, and I'm sure we'll recoup something along the way. Thank you, and good night.